It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Increase your income.
Now, this one I think is going to be one that people do. I think a lot of people say, you know what, this is going to be the year I'm going to will myself to make more money than I did in the year prior. I think this is one that people actually do latch on to.
So how do you increase it? Because, man, that sounds great. I mean, you know what? 2021, abracadabra, hocus pocus, I want more income. I mean, you can see the picture that Daniel used on the slide, if you're watching on YouTube, is basically money's falling out of the sky. That's not reality. I mean, let's face it. So, but what are we talking about when we say you're going to make more income? How do you do this?
Yeah, so the first thing is you have to think about where you're currently making income now. Are there ways or mechanisms in your current lot, in your current circumstance, to go improve what you're doing? Now, for some folks, maybe that's going out there and getting additional education. You know, like I think teachers can go get advanced degrees and it will impact their pay. Maybe there's a professional certification you can go get that would allow you to market yourself at a different level. Or perhaps there's a conversation you can have at the company with which you work to suggest how you might be able to take on more responsibility to ultimately impact your career trajectory.
Now, and I said we're not actually going to cover that during the show, but I'm going to give a little tidbit,
Okay.
is that we're both employers.
Yep.
And I see a lot of articles out there right now telling everybody, know your value and go in there and demand from your employer that they pay you this, even use ultimatums as a powerful tool. I would tell you to be very cautious and careful with that guidance. So here's something, we hear a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Mm-hmm. You know what makes it better if you have an employer that you feel like is not paying you what you're worth? Give them a spoonful of sugar.
That's
and the
exactly
way you
right.
can do that, it's so much easier if you will to share your values, if you will create a win-win situation. I feel like that is a lost art that a lot of people, especially the people that are giving this guidance and through all the financial publications of go in there and throw down the gauntlet and tell them what you're worth. No, go in there and tell them where there's a place of improvement at the company. Hey, and if you want me to take on that responsibility, I'd love to shift into this role and maybe we could increase my responsibilities as well as increase the compensation. A lot of employers are going to be like, wow, I had not thought about that. That's great. And it's going to change their mindset versus, ultimatums, they're dangerous. So just be very careful with that.
One of the comments came in just right. You could walk in there and say, hey, I demand this, do this for me. And your employer might say, all right, well, bye. I'm not going to do that. Don't let the door hit you. And you just don't want to put yourself in that situation. Now, I do think this is interesting. If you are thinking about ways to increase your income, we live in probably the best time in history to take advantage of the gig economy, right? We always hear, time is money. There has never been a truer point in time that if you have time right now, there are ways to go out and make money. Whether it's driving for Uber or shopping on Instacart or blogging or ghostwriting or dog walk or whatever the thing is, this is a side gig economy. So one of the things you have to do is you got to get off your duff and go do it. So if your goal in 2021 is to increase your income and you can't do it in the normal, 40-hour thing that you're doing, perhaps you got to think about a side gig that you can start doing to help influence that.
Solid advice. I mean, these are unique times. I think we've seen that. So, and now more people can work from home.
Yep.
You might be opening up a different opportunity. And then last thing I'll throw out is just the last, because we've been the beneficiary of this. Sometimes you have to take a lateral move to even a step back to get to bigger income. So maybe your goal to make more income is not actually a 1-year goal. Maybe it's actually a 3 to 4 year goal, because how many people, think about Eric, who moved from Texas, who's now one of our lead advisors. He was a CPA working in this profession, but he knew this is where his calling was. Took a side move to know he had to move sideways to move forward. And I think a lot of you guys, we have picked up engineers, we've picked up doctors that are now working as financial planners. I want you guys to know the depth of our bench here at Abound Wealth is some of the smartest and some of the most unique career paths that I think that all is very beneficial. And I love the field vision. I talk about that. People always are a little jealous of success in the fact that they're like, how did they know how to do that? How did they know that was going to happen? I call that field vision. So I want you to challenge yourself to maybe where you actually want to go is not a 12-month thing. Maybe it's something that's going to take a little longer. Go ahead and create that vision plan so you can actually land there.